Welcome back to Bottles from the Deep. We're at a lovely Lochside Victorian town today. It's a new year and I've got a new wetsuit, 8mm, super thick, should keep us nice and warm and should have a good day's hunting. The weather's quite nice. The air is warmer, it's warmed up a bit, had a bit of a cold snap, but we're a bit warmer now. So conditions are good. Let's go and see what we find in the loch. It seems like I've picked a pretty good spot to go in, as there are loads and loads of exciting bottles scattered all over the loch floor. To be honest, I'm completely overwhelmed by the amount of bottles down here. It's going to take quite a few dives to clear this area up and investigate all of these lovely glassy beauties. Clearing away some of the loch sand, we grab the first bottle, and it's a beautiful amber swing top beer bottle. Go down for something a bit bigger, and it's a big old champagne bottle with a nice kick-up base. Something exciting lurking under the stick here. Let's see if it's whole. So extract some of the sand and pull it out of the loch floor. Yes, it's complete. It's a stunning example of a Coca Mariani from Paris. Now this bottle's probably got the wildest backstory I think we found in any of our bottles ever, and we'll tell you about that at the end of the video in the roundup. Got another beautiful amber beer that's just popped out, a little bit darker than the last one, also a swing top. And then we spot another bottle lurking there in the sand. Can't believe these have lasted down here with all the rocks. Pretty unbelievable. Miss it that time and go back for it. And it's another Coca Mariani, also in brilliant condition. So we've got two now. Just as we were inspecting our lovely second Coca Mariani bottle, looks like there could well be another one hiding down there between those rocks. Take some of the sand away. Quite well buried, this one. It's amazing what actually hides down there beneath the sand. Pull it out, and it is another one. So that is number 3. Fantastic. Find a piece of a hot water bottle or a foot warmer, and a lovely big kind of, is it a sewage pipe or an old drainage pipe? Quite interesting. And then a fragment of kind of textures, maybe the rim of a big jar or pot. We find a post of an old jetty. Wonder how old it is. They look like they're pretty old. We find a kind of more modern jetty here. Car batteries have certainly no place in our lochs, and don't want acid and all the kind of nasties leaking into the water, so we'll take this one out and dispose of it safely. It's always good having a look under the jetties, and sure enough there's some kind of stoneware down there. Give it a good clear up, extract it, and it's a lovely kind of salt glazed pouring ink. An old screwdriver. Come across this amazing piece of worked stone here. Looks like sandstone, possibly took a metal attachment, so it's perhaps the top of a gate. And then right next to it there is maybe another piece of sandstone lintel or part of an old wall. Quite interesting. And then not far away on the beach there's this amazing piece of stone here with a kind of carved flower motif in it. And as we're going back to the entry site, we see another Coca Mariani just lying there, minding its own business. So that's the Coca Mariani bottle count up to 4 now. And then absolutely incredibly right next to it is a piece of a 1790s squat cylinder bottle. This is hugely exciting, as we've never found anything from the 1700s before. It's absolutely a fantastic end to a brilliant dive. We've got a pretty tremendous haul today. I didn't think we'd get anything near that much. Just at the point where we went in, I've never seen so many bottles on the throw the bone. Never seen so many bottles on the surface of a loch before. That was absolutely insane. If you remember in the last video, I found a base of one of these bottles and I said it was a heartbreaker, and today we found 4 and they're Coca Mariani Paris, so some sort of French alcohol. I'm going to go home and research this, and I'll see you on the cleanup and tell you a bit more about them. But I have to say, wetsuit was good. Weather was a bit crap at the end, as you can see, but fantastic haul. Brilliant first dive of the year.
Hi everyone, welcome back to HQ. We've cleaned and polished up the beautiful bottles that Jamie found on his recent swim. I was at work and Jamie decided to test out his new wetsuit because thankfully all the lochs have sort of defrosted here now. Quite rightly, got to take advantage when you can, and paid off because he got this gorgeous haul.
Tremendous haul.
He did well. Yeah, so how was the conditions anyway?
It was good. We had unseasonable 8 degrees in the air, and I thought let's do 8 degrees in an 8mm wetsuit. What could go wrong? Wetsuit was great. It didn't feel any cold at all, but unfortunately it made me incredibly buoyant, and so I had to actually grab a boulder at one point to be able to get down to pick up some of these beauties. But absolutely fantastic. Managed to stay in for over an hour, which was great in this time of year, and it's probably only. The water was probably only 4 or 5 degrees, to be honest, with all the snow melt running off the Munros around. But yeah, tremendous haul.
Yeah, I know. So I mean, we should start with these ones. Obviously, a set of 4.
Yeah.
Almost identical.
I think the last time we found anything 4 in a row was these.
Our
the funky
pickle jars.
The funky pickles.
We've got 4 of these now, and we just use them sort of around the house for flowers, really.
The ribbed pickles.
But yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
They're great.
Found 4 of those last spring, hiding under a log in a loch, all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, waiting to be found.
Yeah,
brilliant bottles.
Lots of compliments on them. Yeah, that was the last time we found a set of 4, and here we are again with these. Do you want to tell us a bit about the history of what you found out about these?
The eagle-eyed viewers will notice that I found a base of one of these in the same loch on the last dive. And then at the start of the dive today I found half of one complete, and I thought, oh, I'll never find a whole one, and then about sort of 2 minutes later I found the first whole one, and then I found another one, and found another one, and found another one, and it was getting kind of crazy finding these 4 things. And I sort of wondered at the time, they said Coca Mariani Paris, and thought, it's very strange to find a Parisian bottle in a Scottish loch, and what did the Coca mean? Does that have anything to do with the coca plant perhaps? So we got home, got on Google, and it turned out that these were indeed fortified French wines, fortified with the coca leaf. So there was coca leaf infused into the ethanol of Bordeaux wine, and it created this incredible vitalic tonic wine. So it turned out there was a Corsican man, he was called Angelo Mariani, and he read a paper by a Italian neurologist called Mantegazza, and Mantegazza was looking at the psychological effects of cocaine on humans, and all of its benefits. And I think Angelo thought this was so wonderful that he would invent a product where he'd mix it with his favourite French Bordeaux, and sort of peddle it as this vitality and energy inducing tonic wine.
Wow.
And he was so good at marketing, I think he got something like 3,000 celebrity endorsements.
Yeah, wasn't the Pope a big fan of these?
That's right, yeah. At the top of the pyramid of celebrity endorsements was Pope Leo XIII, and he loved this product so much that he gave Angelo a Vatican gold medal.
Did he?
And I think they had people, who else was drinking? Emile Zola, the famous journalist, if you know anything about the Dreyfus affair. There's Ulysses S. Grant, commander of the Union armies in the north, and president of the United States. He was a drinker as well. Wow. And loads of athletes and dancers and politicians and stuff. Yeah, it seems like everyone was on it around the kind of late 1800s.
Wow.
It probably was quite effective, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'd say if athletes were taking it, there was probably a reason. Probably making them stay up training all night.
Dancing.
Must have been very productive.
Dancing all night.
I'm hoping the people that had these, whenever they had them, didn't all drink them all at once.
Yeah, four in one sitting. I don't think you'd ever sleep again, would you?
No.
It turns out, these had 200 milligrams of cocaine per litre.
Oh my god.
So that's quite a lot.
That is a lot.
And the stuff they used to export to the US to compete with other American sort of cocaine products, cocaine wine products, where they were even stronger.
Oh. Wasn't there some link to Coca-Cola? Did they not do or trial something?
John Pemberton,
Coca leaves.
who invented Coca-Cola, I think in 1885, he was inspired by the Vin Mariani, and he thought that cocaine and alcohol weren't enough, so he wanted to add caffeine to the mix. So he got the cola nut, which is that funny nut that contains caffeine, and he mixed that in as well, so it had alcohol, caffeine and cocaine. And then when Prohibition came round, he had to remove the alcohol part, and then it just became the famous Coca-Cola that we have today, obviously without the cocaine aspect.
No, it's still quite addictive though.
And I think in the UK there was stricter laws came in around 1914 that limited sort of cocaine used in products, and that
1914
as late as that, yeah,
it would have been
you could
earlier
get this good stuff. So, and then Angelo I think died that year, and with him basically the company died as well.
Really?
But they still make it today with decocanized coca leaves
Right.
or decocainized. So you can still buy it. It's 22% fortified wine.
Oh
yeah.
God, 22%.
Have a look in your nearest off license. Pretty
Interesting.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew people were sort of taking laudanum and stuff 100 years ago, and so on. But I didn't realise cocaine was also popular in kind of
I had no idea.
every household in Scotland.
That's mad.
It's
When do you
crazy.
think could you place these then? I guess that's quite.
Yeah.
These could be the
So,
start of the
if you notice,
1900s.
they've got the 3-part mould line.
Oh yeah.
So and then they've got the lovely embossing on the base.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a sophisticated bottle actually, and obviously very solid to have survived
So heavy.
an onslaught of 100 or so sort of winters.
Mm-hmm.
We think they're probably 1890s, late 1890s, early 1900s editions.
Yeah.
They're all actually, each bottle is slightly different in the way that they're moulded.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lips are, that one doesn't, maybe they are applied. They're very neatly done, incredibly neat job. Oh yeah, that one's definitely applied. It's got a little drip and a bit of twisting. So yeah, maybe around 1890s. Obviously, the culprit, probably, there's probably one guy over the course of a few years that was drinking all these, and then probably had a heart attack.
Who knows? Maybe he lived a long, happy life.
Or maybe not.
You never know.
Maybe it kept his arteries open. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and these ones are beautiful. We've never found amber glass like this before.
No.
What were these?
I think that one says Cameron's Beer Edinburgh. So I think we can decide, and it's got a little applied swing top lip. So it must be some kind of beer. And then this has Crake on the bottom, and we found some Thompson Crake beer bottles before. So this must be a Crake from Perth, we reckon. So Perth and Edinburgh. Probably it must have been a fashion, whatever decade this was or year, for amber beers.
I know.
It's weird. We've never ever seen any.
That for some reason.
We found lots of other swing top beers before, but never amber.
They're
Always
gorgeous
aqua
bottles,
ones or green.
They just catch the light so well.
Beautiful, yeah. And I think very, very fashionable and in right now. They're kind of good for, they'll be really nice. They're lovely when you put them on the windowsill and the sun shines through them.
Yeah, they really are. And what about these?
We've got sort of second last find, this lovely little salt glazed pouring ink, and when we cleaned it we noticed it said Love It and Love It Limited, and I think we found another stoneware by Love It and Love It, and it turned out they're Derbyshire pottery.
Oh right.
And what's really cool and kind of moving actually is if you look on the surface there, you can actually see the potter's fingerprint.
Oh yeah.
When they obviously dipped it in the glaze and then they just...
Yeah. There's quite a lot.
Yeah, which is quite amazing.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's a little kind of immortalised the potter in the glaze there.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Pretty awesome. It's a lovely colour, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like this one. I love the size. And
it's still got its
cork's
cork in.
still inside.
Yeah, very cool. So the person must have pushed the cork into it when they opened it.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this one. It's gorgeous. It has got a homemade kind of feel.
Now maybe the most exciting find of the day, although not complete, and don't rarely bring incomplete bottles home, but this was too special because it's quite probably our first bottle ever from the 1700s, and we think it was a squat cylinder bottle, and looking in at all of our lovely books and lots of research here, we think there's another similar example from 1791. So we reckon it's probably 1790s to maybe, very late 1790s. Hopefully not 1801. Hopefully it's in the 1700s. And completely free blown. So there was no moulds used at all. It's just the glassmaker with his pipe and his pontils and all the metal tools and stuff. It's really cool.
It's really cool. I love the indentation sort of where they've kind of
it's sort of twisted and melted
and grabbed there.
And the rim is just so cool, isn't it? And it's kind of
it's
ovalized inside.
It's so unsymmetrical.
So it must have been quite tricky to find a cork that was.
I know.
It must have really jammed the thing in.
Yeah.
And I think it probably would have stood about that high on the table.
Even with such a big top.
Yeah. I guess it would have been around. Yeah, I'm not sure what quantity it would have held. Probably. It would have contained wine, I think. Quite common. And a tantalising clue that maybe this year we'll find a complete one. That would be very exciting.
So.
I feel like I've been staring at pictures of these for about 2 years, and it's so cool just to be able to touch one and kind of time travel yourself back to the age of powdered wigs and taverns and pirates and stuff. It's very kind of piratey looking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. It was a good find. What's your favourite?
Well, initially I thought these were quite boring when they were dirty, but these amber beers are just absolutely gorgeous. I love them. I especially love the fade on this one here, how it fades from kind of light amber to dark amber towards the base. And they've got little ripples and the bubbles and stuff. Really cool. And then probably tugging on the heartstrings is the squat cylinder bottle here from the 1790s. Just absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
You never get bored of touching that and kind of just imagining the people who were drinking from that and the things they saw. We next dive maybe back to the same spot, or there's lots of choice around here. Plenty of Loch.
In there. It sounds like there's a lot down there.
There's a lot
to be found.
In this particular spot, I'd never seen so many bottles on a Loch floor ever. I mean, it was absolutely insane. I was just kind of spinning. I was spinning around like, whoa, where do I start? To removing bits of sand, and there were loads and loads of those really annoying the little champagne bottles, which is so boring. But amongst them there was little gems. So we should definitely go back and have a look there.
Seems like they liked a good party there anyway.
Definitely, they like the cocaine wine, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know.